tidbit of information. It is not rocket science. So being a postpartum doula does not require you to be a rocket scientist. That's my first little tidbit. I just like to start out with that. There's a lot to learn about the 4th trimester and those 3 months after birth. However, that, that doesn't mean that, you've got to know it all. So I'm going to start with that. And the next bit of info that I learned over my years is that you get to learn to be a chameleon. Okay, so what that means is that you will be encountering a variety of personalities, circumstances, lifestyles, and you get to figure out, how you fit into that. So that's what I like to call being the chameleon. And I did have a really cool slide for that too, but unfortunately something's not working on my end. Oh, okay, there we go. Next one. All right, we'll skip ahead. Okay, yeah, you get to have an open heart and open mind. And those, I know, well, I don't know everybody on here, but a few of you I know are already practicing, whether you're a postpartum doula, birth doula, if you're a childbirth educator. If you're in this field, this is what it takes. You get to be open to other people's choices, and you get to discover a lot about yourself in the process. So it's really about this, and and being there truly for someone else, and being a space for them to be able to open up and find their own guide. Oh, there's the chameleon. Yeah, that's right. I added that other one in, so forgive me. But anyway, I love this one. So yeah, you get to be this. You get to figure out which color to put on for that day, depending on who you're working with. So that's when I say that being a chameleon is one of the secrets. Okay, the next thing, and this is your best friend, okay? This is what I have discovered in my years, is that, because we can't know it all and we're learning all the time, your resources are what you need. You need to know who is local to you that you can refer to, particularly for breastfeeding. Some of you may have already discovered that in your years of practice. But it's great to become friends and find a colleague that knows a lot more about breastfeeding than you do. That's one resource that's going to be something you're going to need quite a bit. And at the same time, when you're discovering your resources, you can have this reciprocal referral thing going on. So get to know who those people are when you're referring out, because it's going to be a reciprocal thing for you. So that's going to be one of your best friends in this job. You've got La Leche League and mommy groups and all of those things. So get to know. All right, the next thing is don't take everything personally. And I'm sure some of you have experienced this, and I have, especially in the beginning of my career. But that won't serve you well. Like I said before, you're working with a variety of people, different situations, what happened, with the birth. So just, if you can be there in a neutral space and not take anything personally, it's going to serve you better to serve your clients. Okay, this is a simple graph of the birth process. So this is certainly not all you get to know about birth, but this is a representation of, yes, know about birth. So if you're practicing as a postpartum doula and you're serving a family after birth, you still have to know all about the birth process. You've got to know your local resources, what's going on in birth, where you are. And you want to be familiar so that when you're hearing about a birth story, you know what's being said. And I always say this, I've been teaching postpartum doulas for many years, and whatever you practice, that well-rounded knowledge is going to serve you better. If you're a birth doula, you get to know what comes next. And if you're only a postpartum doula, you get to know what comes prior. It's a full cycle. So that full cycle of knowledge is important in your job. Okay. And of course, we know that, however a woman is treated and however her birth experience is spills over into what comes next. So that's really important. All right. Do not judge anybody. This is critical. As I said before, we're supporting many people in different situations. Okay, so you've got to leave that judgment out of it. Again, being a neutral space to allow that woman and the family to grow, to blossom, to find their way into parenting. So if you find yourself having a challenge with choices that other people are making, just take a look at that, see what's coming up for you, because you will not be serving those families if you're bringing the judgment in, and it can be challenging. There's a lot of doulas that will practice, only serving people that breastfeed, for example, because they have a challenge and a struggle with families that choose not to. So I think you just get to look at that and know when you can serve without judgment. All right, you get to have big ears on this picture. But yeah, you get to do a lot of listening, and that's going to serve you to know how to best serve the family that you're with. And you're going to listen to a lot of things. It could be about the birth story. It could be about, what's going on in the marriage or in the family. So really listen and really tune in so that you know what your role is, because it is going to shift from family to family. So listening is key. And you can practice this with other family members and kids, your children. Really practice and hone in on those listening skills. Okay, and although we may not agree with certain choices, or like we would do something differently in a situation, that doesn't preclude you from offering up all what you know. So in any given situation, you want to offer up what you know to be true, resources that you might have, again, sticking to what's evidence-based and actually what's going to serve the family, so it's kind of a combination. But you want to offer it all up. The choice is up to them. So you're not there to advise and, make decisions for anybody. Be an advocate, certainly, but really it's giving over what you know, and being willing to obviously look for what you might not know and, share other resources. So you always want to give them the facts, the theories, and what you know to be true. Then you know that you've put it all out there, and, whatever a family chooses, again, that's up to them. If there's something to do, obviously, with the safety factor for the baby, a situation like that, then you're going to want to speak up and just be firm with what you've got. Oh, I hear a little one. Hello. All right. So Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Pretty much you're going to be focused down on those physiological needs. So food, rest. So nutrition and rest are key for a new mom to recuperate, and for the entire family, but we do mostly focus on the mom. So really your goal and your role is going to be down here in the red area that you see. And again, you're working with so many different people with different personalities and lifestyles. So you do what you can do, within your scope from a non-medical perspective. And if you can focus on that and, knowing that you've got those resources when you need them, then you're good to go, really. Again, it's not the rocket science. What does that new mother need? Where is she at? What's happening with the family? There's a lot happening. There's a lot to know. But you just, focusing in and really tuning in, our job is to help that new mother and family find it here for themselves. Okay, and you've heard this before in the doula circles with the work that we do, boundaries, drawing a line in the sand. That's up to you. Where do you draw the line? When do you get phone calls and when do you not? When are you on and when are you off? Now, I know birth doulas are on call. You've got a client, you're basically on call for like a month, or actually even when you sign on, right? Questions, what comes up, you're pretty much on call for that person. and especially, getting closer to the birth. Now, for the postpartum work, you can set your hours. You can let people know, I can be reached between this time and that time. It's up to you. But I do know that when there aren't clear boundaries, it's going to affect you, your work, possibly your family. And burnout, as we know, is high in this field. So I highly recommend you setting the boundaries that work for you, and letting your clients know when you're available and when you're not. With postpartum doula work, there's not normally the on-call, rushing at a moment's notice, in the wee hours. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't do that or you won't do that, but you can really set the hours that work for you and your family. I highly recommend it. Okay. Also, in working with families and new parents, new mothers, they're so overwhelmed. I mean, even in the best of circumstances, the best of birth, it can be overwhelming. So you're there to kind of ease that, and perhaps they have another child that's 2 years old and maybe running wild, or from your perspective. But you can be an example, just kind of by showing how you would handle a certain situation. And again, with not coming in like, I know everything, because poor new mom, right? I've had times when I've just said, oh, they asked me to hold the baby, or the baby's crying, and all of a sudden the baby quiets down, and then I feel like, oh my gosh, no, I don't want her to think that she doesn't know how to do that. So just kind of showing them what you do in certain instances, whether it's with the baby, with other siblings, be an example. Show them a sling, bring it with you, and just kind of, use it one day when it's your turn to keep an eye on the baby, or even the toddler. So just leading by example, and, being a leader in your field, and, showing that family that you are there for them, for their needs and their particular situation. And there's no one size that fits all. And, one thing that we encourage, of course, is bonding and keeping that mother-baby couple together. I don't think many parents, or a lot of parents, really know that kind of mother and baby are really like this, and that the separation really does have a great effect. So any kind of encouragement and facilitation of keeping the mother-baby couple together is awesome, and something that you get to do a lot. Okay, and so there's been more than 10 here, but I have a few little tidbits extra. And this, of course, is this is Mary Poppins. Hello. But yeah, you get to kind of like fly in and do what you got to do and get everything situated and leave. So you get to always be working on, how do I work my way out of this job, which is very different than every other job that you may have had, or that other people have. So ideally, you are working your way out of a job. Do all you can, within your scope, within your realm, with what that family needs, with your support, with answering questions, with guiding, with getting parents to trust themselves somehow, with your support. And then you want to leave, and it doesn't always work out that everything's perfectly situated when you leave, when it's your time, but you'll know if you've done all that you can and offered up everything within your scope, and then you can feel really good about working your way out of a job. So I just want to share a couple more things with you about myself and what I've learned, and then I'm going to open it up to questions. So let's see, we will stop the screen share so we can get Mary Poppins down off the screen, and I can see, oh hey, hi Heather Gale. Hi Becky. Oh wow, yay. Oh, awesome, I love seeing everybody here. I like having the video. I'm all over it. Emily, hey. Okay, so most of you know me, and I know most of you, which is great. So you know what I've been up to. But I've been doing this work for 25 years, and I have learned a lot, and I'm so ready to share that, and particularly in this kind of a situation and with some one-on-one And I know, a lot of doulas are doing what they love to do and earning money doing it. And I know for me, when I first found out about what this was, my son was 2, and I knew about mothering, and I had I guess a decent birth experience. But the whole thing was, I answered this ad, and it asked for supporting new moms after birth, and I thought, well, I can do that, and I can get paid. This is great. And that's how I got started. And I'm still in touch with my mentor up in Massachusetts, Joan Singer, who I love. I just talked to her last week, and it's great. It was just perfect. I was really looking for a purpose and meaning. I didn't want to just get any old job. So that's what led me to what I'm doing and what I've been doing for all these years. So having said that, so what I'm doing now is I'm really working on my online classroom, and I want to work with people one-on-one and allow them to learn, at their own time. So I do have one course that I wanted to share with you, just tell you a little bit about, and then I'm going to open it up for questions. And let's see. I was going to, I got one more thing to show you. Hold on. Bear with me. I forgot about this. All right. One more so I can tell you what I'm up to. So I have this course that I think is actually kind of different than most. So we'll see. You're welcome to check it out. We'll get back to that later. All right, never mind. So anyway, I've got a course on success, working from the inside out. So it's really about the inside journey, and I'm offering it to everybody here for this that came to the webinar. And I've got it for $88. I'm doing it for $50. It's a 2-week course with vision board and meditation and an hour with me. And if you're interested, you get to check that out at Birth eLearning. And I hope you will be. I've put it together and been just getting started with it, and I think you're going to like it. So on that note, does anybody have any questions, comments, sharing? And if you do, just unmute yourself. Can you see how to do that? Anybody? Yeah?
Yeah, I don't see anything.
Oh, okay, I hear you. Who am I talking to?
Karen Power.
Oh, Karen. Hey, how are you?
Also the clown.
I know who you are. Hi. Karen, I've known for years. Wow. What's going on?
Well, you sent me this invite, so
here you are.
But do you have any classes like on DVD?
I don't have anything on DVD. I mean, this will be recorded for anybody that could make it if they want, they want this. My online classroom is actually a go at your own pace. There's video, there's audio, there's doing activities. So, you get to do it on the computer. Does that work for you? No?
I currently don't have internet. I mean, I can get it through my phone, but my phone a lot of times crashes on me.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. No, that's a great question, because there's all different types of learners. And so, but I don't have that as of yet.
I wonder if I could go to the library and then bring a headset or something, earphones.
Yeah, I'm sure you could.
Yeah.
So yeah, and none of, like what I'm doing is I want people to be able to learn at their own pace. So there's no, like you've got to be done by, X time. Like the course that I'm offering here, for all of you, I say it takes 2 weeks because I have 2 weeks worth of meditations, within the course, but you can take as long as you want. On all.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Now,
Shauna
is
has,
there any way?
yeah.
Is there any way we can use that for recertification for as a doula?
Well, that particular course that I'm referring to, there are not CEUs formally for it as of yet. Doesn't mean that there, there might not be, but it's part of a larger course that I'm offering. But there are no CEUs if you need the CEUs, not for this one in particular. I do have a couple courses that are for CEUs though in the classroom at Birth eLearning.
Oh, okay.
I'll type it in the chat. I couldn't get to I had it on the slide, but I'll type it in the chat so people will see it, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, I couldn't get to what I had written up, but.
Sorry, I'm trying to join something. I'm trying to read it out, but
What's that? Did I answer you, Karen?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay. Shauna, did you have a question?
I think you might have answered it.
Okay.
I was going to ask you a little bit. What you just gave us the link to your birth e-learning, so I'm
Yeah.
looking.
Yeah, I had another slide that didn't come up, but it's birthelearning.teachable.com, and the one course, if you're interested in the one course that I'm offering, then I will send you a special invoice and get you in, because you'll see it's $88, but I'm going to give it to you for $50, including an hour with me. If you.
I see. Okay.
So yeah, so I can I will email everybody, with the information, but you can go on and sign up there for free, and there's you can see what's there. There's no no cost to sign up at birthelearning.teachable.
Super. That answered my question.
Okay, awesome.
Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
I have another question. This is Karen again.
Okay.
Because I really do more doulas. Doula.
Yeah.
Labor doula. But how do you get your clients to recognize your worth to hire them for for postpartum? I mean, what's your spiel?
To know your worth. Well,
it's important to have to have you continue and be their postpartum doula as well.
So you mean like if you're doing the birth, how do you get to share the value with them to have you continue? Is that your question?
Yeah, basically.
we're not buying anything.
Well,
So just put it back.
If support is needed and you are willing and able to provide it, and you share what you can do, that's what I do. I mean, I don't go to births, but for the postpartum, if they don't have family around, if they're breastfeeding and they're going to need some support with that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it depends, on their other support systems. And, in fact, women are not supposed to do any of this alone, as we know, right? And a lot of women, I think, believe that they should or they can because they're super mom.
So many.
So, what you find? Go ahead. What?
No, they usually consider me, but then family comes in town, and by the time they leave, it's they don't really anymore. So I was just wondering how you get yourself to get them to hire you, because I know other postpartum doulas and they are busy constantly.
Well, I think it's just, whatever you're it's what you're putting out, like who you want to attract. I think, part of this is about attracting your ideal customer, like who is it, your ideal client. And, it took me years to learn not to serve like every single person and think that every single, pregnant mom was my client, because it's simply not true. Look at all the doulas on here. I think I don't know. I think everybody's a doula on here. I'm just going to make an assumption, but we all work with a different type of client perhaps, and who do we want to attract? Who do we want to work with? And then seeking those people out. And it's a process. And not everybody will find the value. That's just a fact. But so yeah, I think that might answer a little bit, and it may be more into another type of seminar. Target market and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else have a question or anything they'd like to share? You on, Emily?
Hi, I have a question for you regarding your average package that
I'm having a hard time. Okay.
hire you for. Do you have a set number of hours in a package that you find to be sort of the favorite startup package, or how often do you go to their homes, those sorts of things? I'm obviously, I'm not a postpartum doula, I'm a birth doula.
Right.
Looking at postpartum doula work just because of where I am in my life right now. I have a grandbaby and I want to be able to go to see that grandbaby.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome.
because I can never leave town.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at what is your average, what is your average package and what does that look like?
Well,
Et cetera.
it does vary. It depends on the client, but I would say that, there's not a lot gets accomplished in, let me rephrase it. You can accomplish a lot when you're with someone, say for a few hours. However, for, a client that hires you, I think the first 2 weeks are really the critical period. The first 2 to 3 weeks, and I mean longer, but that's the critical period after birth to get things situated. With the baby, with the breastfeeding, everybody getting to know this little baby. So I would say I would not go to anybody's house for less than 3 to 5 hours in any given day, just because it just doesn't make sense. And I would find out too, is there other support coming in, and what is their support going to look like? So even kind of working out a vision plan with that new mama and family, so that you get a better sense of what their needs are.
Oh God.
But so yeah, I mean, I would go to somebody in the first week, maybe every day if there was nobody else around.
I think I got robbed.
Who's who's talking?
Yeah,
Hello?
we're getting some background noise. So that's helpful to know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't carve in stone. However, I think the first 2 weeks are the critical period, and you could do packages of 40 hours for the first 2 weeks, which is about 20 hours a week. Right. However, if there's nobody else around for that family, then you may be doing more hours in the first week. But you could do a package of more hours, maybe less, give a little break kind of a thing. But I have always really tailored and individualized my services. Okay. Just because needs are always shifting. But to protect yourself at the same time, if you're passing on clients, you might want to have a certain minimum set package. Right. Of maybe 20 hours a week, or 40 hours for the first 2 weeks, and they can kind of use in increments. Okay. I hope that helps.
I think that does. I feel like the business aspect, contracting, etc. Clients would probably be fairly similar to birth doula work, and I'm very comfortable with that end of things on that.
Yeah.
I'm just interested in kind of just looking into the aspects of postpartum work, again, for the reasons that I stated.
Yeah.
So it just interests me, like, kind of what does that look like, as far as in the intensity of your work with particular clients, etc.
Which will vary for sure. And, as we know. Okay, so we still have another like minute or so for questions, or did I mean, we could explore that further, and we could do that if you want. You know how to find me. I'm gonna come meet you in person
I know.
soon. Yeah. No, but yeah, that's a great question. That's a whole nother webinar too, actually. I mean, you know, in essence, that whole piece. So yeah, anybody? Okay, Shauna, did you have another question? Shauna?
No, I'm good.
Oh, okay.
Did I raise my hand? I'm sorry.
That's okay. No worries. No worries. Anybody else have a question? No comment? So yeah, I'm gonna share with everybody. I can share the recording, so you can, if you want to, you know, review it again. And I've got the link to the classroom, but I'll share with you that information. I'll give you some more. Oh, and I was also going to give you an excerpt. You'll get an excerpt from my manual for my course. And another thing I was giving you, what was that? Oh yeah, and that was it. So the course, which includes an hour with me and an excerpt from the manual, so I can email everybody that info. Yeah, thank you all for coming. This was like my, you know, step into the webinar scene. So I appreciate everybody. It's really fun. I actually want to do these connections more often, even if it's just an informal, you know, get together and ask questions. So I'll share that with you because I really like this. So thank you. I really appreciate everybody coming. And you all know how to find me if you want to get in touch. It's so good to see the faces. People I haven't seen. Come on. Hey, Heather, I don't see you, but you're there. I see you're on. And I don't know, a couple other people. But yeah, hey, no, thanks everybody for coming. And I told you I'd be laser. So there I was. But I'll be doing more, and you guys all have a great night. Contact me if there's anything else you want to know. I'm available. All right?
Bye,
Well,
Betsy.
thank you.
Yeah, thanks again. Have a great night.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye, Vicky.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.